Determine whether each equation defines y as a function of x. Okay. First equation, first example. We have x plus y is equal to 34. Okay. How we determine, okay, whether this equation would be a function or not. Number one, we can graph it. But if we didn't have a graphing calculator, number two, how we can determine, well, we have a this is a linear equation. We know it's going to be a straight line. Okay? So you're going to have an x that's going to correspond to y. It's not going to be, if you have an absolute value equation where, I won't say absolute value equation, where you may have a circle where some of the points are going to pair. When I say pair, you're going to have some x's that's going to pair with the same y's. Okay? So to determine whether each equation, x plus y is equal to 34, defined y as a function of x. I don't know if I said, yeah, defines. Okay. What we're going to have to do here is solve for y to determine. So to solve for y, we're going to subtract x to both sides, and we have y is equal to negative x plus 34. This is a linear equation. It's going to look something like this. Okay? So you can find all the possible values for x to determine y, but it's going to be a function. Okay? X is going to correspond to exactly one y. Let's look at B. X squared plus y is equal to 36. What type of equation is this when you have an x squared? Do we remember? A parabola, a quadratic equation. Okay? So you at least you have if you see the exponent, you can have a visual without even having to graph it, what type of equation this is. So solving for y, we're going to subtract x squared to both sides. We have y is equal to negative x squared plus 36. And actually, this is going to be a parabola that's going to face downward. Okay? Because that x squared is negative.
So the question is just asking to put it in this form?
To put it in this form and then determine if it's a function or not.
Okay. So do
Now,
you have an example?
Do you necessarily have to put it in this form?
Yes, we will, because there's going to be, yeah, I'm going to show you, that's going to be the next example. You will have to. Okay? So, think about the parabola, okay, and putting some values in for x to find y. It's going to be a function. And I'm going to show you the vertical line test, because the vertical line test, if you have a visual as to how this looks, without having to plot points, you'll be able to know if it's a function or not just by looking at the graph. C, here we go. X squared plus y squared is equal to 4. 4. All right, so we have an equation. We want to solve for y, and in doing so, we're going to subtract x squared to both sides. We have y squared is equal to, we can say negative x squared plus 4, or 4 minus x squared, it doesn't matter. But to solve for y, we have to do what? Take the square root. And then we have y is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative x squared plus 4. Now, because there is a plus or minus sign, okay, once we solve for y, what this means there are two values of y. So if there are two values of y, that means it's not a function. Actually, this is a circle. X squared plus y squared equals to 4. It's a circle. Okay? Okay, and I'll let you do this last one, D, call it D here. We have x plus 7 is equal to y squared. And we're solving for y. This is not a quadratic equation. Yes, sir.
I had a question about C.
Uh-huh.
Could you initially take the square root of both sides?
No,
No.
no. You have to have a variable by itself before you can take the square root of both sides, either the x or the y.
Okay.
But to determine if it's a function, you have to solve for y. Okay.
Thank you.
Wouldn't that be simplified more because you're taking the square root and wouldn't it become x plus 2
No.
with an I?
No, no, because you have terms, it's not multiplication, yes. Had it been,
4x squared.
yeah, negative 4x squared, no plus sign, but multiplication, then you could do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Even if you took them individually?
You can't do it, yeah, you can't do it individually, okay?
Tempting.
Yes, it is. Okay, let's look at D here. X plus 7 is equal to y squared. Solving for y, we're going to take the square root to both sides. Then you're going to have plus or minus the square root of x plus 7 is equal to y. Would this be a function or not? Yes.